Hey everyone, hope you'll bear with me and forgive me for this sort of unannounced and slightly longer than 7-minute video that I do want to share with you all about things that have been going on and things I want to share with you. And again, I think it's something that needs to be said, and I hope you bear with me. And I'll just say right now about the issues that are going on currently, there are other pastors and speakers that have spoken about this in a far more eloquent and professional manner, but I want to add to the mix if you don't mind. And again, just share my thoughts on what's been gnawing at me. And you see, very recently, within the last week, someone texted me and asked me this question: Sean, is there a Bible verse for police brutality and violence? And I understand where that question is coming from. I understand it's coming from a place of anger, a place of frustration, where, again, with all the events that have been going on, again, sparked by the death of George Floyd, again, everyone wants to have some sort of response, and especially a great place to look at is, is there a biblical answer for this? What's going on? How can the Bible or how can God answer our questions this time? And I know we try to find very specific answers for things like maybe police brutality. As I've been mulling over that question and just mulling over this whole situation that's been going on, as we've been going through this unrest now for some time, as we have like viruses galore. We have a virus that's been with us since February, March, and another virus that's been sort of systemic and been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Been thinking about a lot of these things, but especially in the current state that we're in, one word that's kind of come to my mind that really, again, has been blurring my head. It's like, this is the answer. This is what we need to think about, is the word neighbor. Neighbor. Who is my neighbor, right? And I've been dwelling on that, and I've been thinking about it. And you see the parable of the Good Samaritan, which comes to us from Luke 10:25-37. If we read that parable very carefully, there is an answer we see about the notion of who should we care about. Who are the people that are around us that need our assistance? And I want to delve into this parable, but please take a look and see exactly what the Bible has to say. I think this is the response that we need in light of all that we're seeing. You know the entire story, but let me cut to some of the details. So you have an expert in the law, right, who stood up to Jesus and said, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Keep in mind, this teacher was an expert of law. He's been doing his own studies. He knows the religious scriptures and literatures back and front. So again, this is someone who has knowledge, but he's asking Jesus, says, "What do I do to inherit eternal life?" And it's interesting how Jesus responds back, right? Jesus says, "Well, you tell me. What is written in the law? How do you read it?" So it's very fascinating how Jesus kind of throws that question back to the questioner, saying, "You know the answer already, but again, let's go ahead. You say it to me. Exactly what does the law say?" And, of course, the expert rightly says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength and mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself." And Jesus is like, drop that mic. You got it. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations. You have answered correctly. Do this, and you will live. But of course, the expert wants to go a little further. And if you read in verse 29, he says, but he wanted to justify himself. So you see, again, he's like, let me boost my own thinking. He's like, all right, I'm going to get this answer properly done. So he asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? That is the huge question that he has for Jesus. Again, keep in mind, this teacher of the law, this expert of the law, knows the answers, right? He's a learned person. So he's trying to like lead the question and get answers out of Jesus. So, I think this teacher of the law, expert, is thinking, Jesus is probably going to respond back, oh, of course, the Israelites are our neighbors. Or the Roman Empire that we see around us, of course, they're our neighbors. Everyone is our neighbor. All lives matter, don't they? Everybody matters. Everybody is my neighbor. But again, of course, Jesus very, very smartly says, hold on. Of course, I know everyone's my neighbor. All lives do matter. But let me tell you who your neighbor is. And before I go a little bit further, see, the word neighbor, if you look in the derivation, is derived from the Greek word plesion, which actually means to be near, right? So there's a notion of physical proximity. There's a notion of closeness as well. When someone is your neighbor, that's someone who's close to you, that you want to have close to you, to draw close to you, especially in very important times of their lives. So to the very important question of who's my neighbor, which the expert thought, okay, maybe he's going to answer in this way. Everybody, of course, my neighbor, right, Jesus? Listen to how Jesus replies. I love it. Jesus says so aptly. So you know the story. There's a guy traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he's on his way. But of course, there's some robbers that come, take all his belongings, beat him up, and leave him half dead, almost lifeless on the side of the road. He's in desperate need of help. And of course, there's a priest that sees him and walks straight by. There's a Levite that sees him and walks straight by. Before we go forward, because we know who the main character of the story is, and we have to talk about the Samaritan and the great thing that he did, let's ask ourselves a really important question, and it's like, why did the priest and the Levite walk by? Because these are learned people, right? These are religious people who hold to the scriptures, who believe in God, who believe in helping others, don't they? But again, let's just kind of reason out, what is a possibility here? Maybe they reason, hey, listen, this guy was beat up by robbers. There's probably some robbers close by, so I don't want to put my life at risk. Let me just go on and pretend nothing happened, right? This is not my problem, so I'll just move on. Or maybe because they were religious, acolytes or priests, they were like, okay, I want to remain clean, right? Because to be part of rituals, to be part of ceremonies, if I touch this person who's bleeding here, I might become unclean. And so therefore, I'll violate the laws and the rules of worship. I don't want to do that. I want to always remain pious before my God and pray very loud. And I want to make sure that, again, I maintain that connection I have with my God through prayer and action, of course, right? So they walk to the side. So again, what are the things that prevent us from helping people? They found out reasons, right? They said, we don't want to help because of this. And aren't we in this world right now where we start to see, oh, this is the reason why I don't want to help. I'm not going to do it because I got to feel safe. Again, this is the same kind of conversations that I'm sure people are having to justify why they don't get knee deep into trouble, why they don't want to intervene in other people's lives, why they want to stay safe in their comfort zones. But of course, the Samaritan, he comes. And again, just really without hesitation, he's riding on his donkey. He sees that man lifeless. But again, let me just comment right here. Slow it down for a moment. Stop with the word Samaritan, right? You need to realize, and again, this is a whole other study, which I might do maybe another video here. But again, the Jewish people and the Samaritan people, you're talking about racial divides now. There were racial divides going on for hundreds of years beyond this in other races. For those who don't know, the Samaritan people were like a mixed race group of like Jews who intermarried with the Assyrians who had come in. And of course, there was also the remnant of people that were left behind as well when the main Israel people went to exile. So these were people that were different, right? Intermarried, mixed blood. And I guess the pure Jewish people were thinking, oh, we don't want to have anything to do with them. You guys are a different type of people. You're a different race. And there was much clashing. There was much animosity between these two groups. So how poignant it is that Jesus Christ says that a Samaritan person, and again, we don't know the identity of where this lifeless person who's lying on the ground is, but maybe he was Jewish, but maybe he was. It's a possibility. But again, you see very, very clearly that the Samaritan, whatever the creed of that person was, he got off his donkey, and then again, he just went and tended to his needs. He bandaged him up. He went again and picked him off the ground and put him on his donkey. Now, listen, we live in a world of 7-8 passenger vehicles. How many passengers can that donkey hold? 1, 2 at max? But he did anyway. He picked up that person who could barely walk, put him on his back, took him to the next town, and told the innkeeper, please tend for this person's needs. And let me give you a little more cash so that if he needs anything further beyond this, I got him. I will supply for his needs in his most desperate times. Please look after him because he is in help. Again, he put his life in peril. He made his hands dirty, but he got into the mix of it because he was the neighbor. He drew near to someone who needed help in his life. So, of course, Jesus ends off by saying, which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? I want us to notice very clearly the response that this expert in the law gives, because it's a good response, but I see something else going on too. In verse 37, we read, it says, the expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him, the one. So you see, it's very interesting. He doesn't mention that person in terms of name or even who he was, because Jesus clearly says, here's a priest, here's a Levite, here's a Samaritan, right? The expert just says the one. So again, we can interpret that as like he didn't want to even mention that thing. Like, oh, it was a Samaritan who did that? You can't really a Samaritan? No, it was just. But the expert had to admit by the story that Jesus said it was the one who had mercy on him. And Jesus said, go and do likewise. Draw near to your neighbor in their most desperate times. When your brother or sister or neighbor falls, you must draw closer to them because they are in a time of need. We are living in times where our black brothers and sisters are in a desperate time of need. And again, we see so clearly, again, this George Floyd incident, tragic as it was a spark for many things that have been going on for many, many years. It's been adding on and adding on. And we as a church, where do we stand with this? Do we just want to let this go by the wayside? Because especially in our community, we'll go, it's like, this will pass. This is another thing. The virus will pass. This racist thing will pass. And we want to sit comfortably in our quarantine houses so that we won't be bothered. Are we good enough for that? Let me tell you something. You know, this is going to sound shocking here. When I saw George Floyd again on the ground with the knee in his neck and then he lost his life there, you know what I thought? That was my brother who died. Is that shocking to say? That's my brother who died. All those who've gone through injustices and lost their lives senselessly, those are our brothers and sisters because we are part of the family of God. You see, in 1 John chapter 3, verse 1, we have this great revelation from God through John. It says, how great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called the children of God. And that is what we are. We are the children of God. We belong to one family. And again, the problem is way back when God created things, when God created everybody in the image of God, everything was on a level playing field. We were all the same. We were all beautiful in the eyes of God. But it was us. It was our stupidity and foolishness and jealousy and ambition that did not level the playing field. All of a sudden, races are superior. We ourselves created this inequality that does not even need to be there. But because of that, God is saying, listen, draw near, level the playing field. You lower yourselves and raise the other people up so you can meet together and walk together in a common path back to where our God wants us in his kingdom. We need to understand that our neighbors, our brothers, our black brothers and sisters who are God's children are in desperate need at this time. So again, please be very clear. Of course, all of us are God's children, but when any of God's children suffers, we don't push them away. We need to draw them close. We need to support them. We need to lift them up. And as a church, as a people of God, where do we stand? Will we stand with our brothers and sisters, or will they wait outside our church doors while we have our comfort zones and take our holy communions and participate in our services? Is that all we're going to do? This is the question I have for us as we ponder again. We want to know who our neighbor is. They're the ones that, again, are in desperate need. God, again, when you look at Luke chapter 4, you think about that manifesto that Jesus Christ so eloquently said. He said, I have come to release the oppressed. I have come to free the prisoners. I have come to give recovery for sight of the blind. That was Jesus' mission. He dropped the mic in front of all those teachers saying, I am the one where this is going to be fulfilled. I have come to do this, and so I want my people to do this as well. When you go into all the world and preach the good news, you're also rescuing people. Rescue, bring them back to where they belong. Level the playing field so that everyone gets a fair shake and all are seen equally, of course, in the eyes of God, but we also love each other as we love ourselves. These are our neighbors who are in very, very desperate times here. So folks, we as a church, we need to understand, where do we stand? Where do we stand? Again, we might be doing our outreaches. We might be checking off our boxes to say, okay, here we go. We did our, barbecue this. We did our food drive that. We did all these different things. But is the outreach even reciprocating in the sense that are we inviting people in to say, come near to us? Come, we want you to be part of our fellowship. We want you to be a part of our family. You are our family. You are the ones that are going through these desperate times. And we are with you. We stand with you. You don't just matter. You are precious. You are a chosen people. You belong to God. That's more than mattering. That's more than mattering. That's something special. All of these people who are created by God are valued by God. That's where they get their worth. Not because of what I see here or not because of what I see upon them. It's because of our vision through God's eyes. I see how God sees them. Give me eyes so I can see, Lord, the desperate, the oppressed. And I want to see those people, my brothers and sisters who have gone through these fallen times. I want to understand what they're going through, and I want to lift them up. I want to be there to be part of that rallying cry to say, you are with me, I'm with you. If you suffer, I suffer. We are all in this together. Will we as a church stand up? Let's stand up for our brothers and sisters. This is a fight that's worth fighting for. Let's play our roles properly. And again, just speak out where injustice is happening. Again, you might be angry. You might be frustrated. My brothers and sisters, don't be discouraged though. Don't be discouraged because we are fighting the good fight. If it's about fighting for righteousness, if it's about fighting for justice for all people, regardless of color, but again, when we stand near, when we draw close to our black brothers and sisters who are in desperate need this time, let's go for it. That's a fight worth fighting for. And again, let's all come back together and rejoice in the Lord who has made us, who has created us, and who calls us his children.